Okay, homework and remembering, Unit 4, Lesson 8. Doing a lot of the same things, multiplying decimal numbers. Numbers 1 through 12 I think are okay for most of you. Make sure you're checking those answers, maybe with a parent, to make sure your answers are correct, because some of them, like number 8, gets a little bit more challenging. Those with a lot more digits, a 3 by 2 for instance, just a little bit more algorithm work there. But I do want to talk about number 13 because this one seems to be difficult for some of us to understand. It says complete and then name the property being used. So it says 4.3 times 6.2 minus 4.3, and this is your answer. That's the fill in the blank, times 1.1. And they're saying all of that is equal to this next line, so that is equal to this. This is what they're telling us. That information is equal to 4.3, or 4 3/10, times 6 2/10 minus 1 1/10. They're saying that that's all equal. And remember, this is your answer, what you're filling in. So with this information given here, being familiar with the properties of multiplication, you may recognize what this one is. And the red writing here is important. Look at 4 3/10 times 6.2. You see that right here as well. And then what if we take 4 3/10 times 1.1? Well, you see that right there as well. This is called the distributive property of multiplication. That's the distributive property. Very familiar property that you must know going into middle school. We're taking this factor here on the outside and putting it into each factor within the parentheses to show it in a different way, such as this. And we still have that minus sign. The minus sign was here. Now it's there, and it's still finding the same answer. If you were to multiply these out using either formula, you would get the same answer. So we're recognizing this as the distributive property of multiplication because we're distributing this 4 3/10 inside the parentheses to the 6 2/10, and then we're going to take this 4 3/10 and distribute it once again to the 1 1/10. Once we find these separate factors for each one of these sets of parentheses, we'll then take into account that minus sign. Okay? Let's look at another problem from this side. Let's just go ahead and do one of those problems above. Let's say we're going to look at number 6. And number 6 is 80 hundredths times 3 8/10. Alright, so I like to look at this as whole numbers. I like to think of this as 80 times 38. That's just what I need to think of in my head. So I'm going to rewrite that as 80 times 38. Basic 2-digit by 2-digit. You may use any strategy you want. I'm just going to do the shortcut that we refer to. This is the traditional algorithm that most of us have used in grade school. So we're going to take the ones place and put it into the ones place of the digit above and into the 80, the 8/10. So 8 times 0 will give us 0. 8 times 8 will give us 64. Now I put that 8 into each digit above, so I'm done with this one place. Now I'm going to move over to the 3/10, which is a value of 30. So since that's a value of 30, I'm going to show the ones place down here for that. So we have 3 10s and 0 ones. So let's go ahead and multiply this 30 into each place value of the above number. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 8 is 24. And now we can add those two partial products. And 0 and 0, of course, is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10, so I have to carry that 1. That gives me 3,040. But that is not your answer. 3,040 is not your answer. We need to go back and see how many place values did I have in the decimals. So to the right of the 80/100ths decimal point, I have 2 decimal places. And to the right of this decimal point, I have 1. So total, if I count these up, I have 1, 2, 3 digits to the right of the decimal point. So 1, 2, 3. So that tells me I need to start over here to the right of my ones place and move over 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. And right there is where I'm going to put my decimal point. And that is red. So 3.040. We read that as 3 40,000ths for number 6. Alright, hopefully this is helpful. Good luck on your homework, and we will discuss it in class tomorrow. Have a good night.